The alien market was loud, dirty, and full of strange smells. Creatures from different planets shouted, bargained, and pushed each other to get better deals. Under the yellow sky of planet Gorvik, traders sold everything: food, weapons, rare tech, and even living beings. Liam, a human traveler, moved through the crowd, holding his backpack tightly. He was not here for fun. His ship had broken down 2 days ago. He needed parts and fuel, but everything here felt wrong. The people, the stares, the way the guards looked at him like he was prey. Suddenly, a loud bell rang, and everyone stopped. Moving, the crowd turned toward a metal platform in the center of the market. A large alien with red skin and a horned face stepped up and raised both hands. "Today's final attraction," he shouted. "Not a machine, not a robot. A living, breathing exotic girl, one of a kind." 2 guards appeared, dragging something behind them. Liam frowned and stepped closer. It wasn't a machine. It wasn't an animal. It was a girl. She was young, maybe 19 in human years. Her skin was soft silver, with a gentle glow under the sun. Long white hair fell across her shoulders, dirty but beautiful. Her arms and legs were covered in cuts, and a thick chain was wrapped around her ankles and wrists. She didn't fight or cry. She just stood there, quiet, looking down. The crowd laughed and shouted, "She's broken!" Someone yelled, "Still beautiful?" Another shouted. The auctioneer smiled. "She doesn't talk, doesn't fight, but she moves when you tell her to. Perfect for shows, collections, or private entertainment." Liam felt a twist in his stomach. This wasn't right. He didn't believe in owning people. Back on Earth, slavery had been gone for centuries. But here, in deep space, some worlds were still dark. He stepped forward again, just a little closer, and then their eyes met. The girl looked up. She didn't look like an animal. She didn't look like a product. She looked human. Her eyes were big, silver, with tiny stars inside them. She looked directly at Liam, not at the crowd, not at the guards. Only him. And then her lips moved. She whispered something. Liam blinked, trying to read them. "Please, take me home." He froze. Did she really say that? The auctioneer raised a strange device. "Bidding starts now. 1,000 units." People raised their hands. The price rose fast. 2,000, then 3, then 4. Liam's heart pounded. He wasn't rich. He had just enough to fix his ship and eat for a few weeks, but her eyes haunted him. That look, full of pain, full of hope. "Please take me home." He stepped forward. 5,000 units, he shouted. The crowd laughed. Human? He'll get eaten alive." The auctioneer squinted. 5,000 from the human? Anyone else? Silence. No one raised a hand. No one wanted to challenge someone crazy enough to buy a broken girl. "Sold!" The auctioneer called out. The guards shoved her forward. She stumbled but didn't fall. Liam stepped toward her. She was thin, almost too light to stand. She kept her head down but stayed close to him. "Remove her chains," Liam said. The guard laughed. "You really want to do that here?" I said, "Remove them." With a sigh, the guard tapped a control pad, and the chains around her wrists and ankles unlocked and dropped to the ground with a heavy clang. She rubbed her wrists and looked at them like she had never seen her own hands free before. Liam placed his coat over her shoulders. "What's your name?" he asked softly. She didn't answer. He leaned in closer. She whispered again. "Sahari." It was the softest sound he had ever heard. Liam nodded. "All right, Sahari, you're safe now." But even as they walked away, people stared. Whispers followed them. "Poor fool, she won't survive long. He won't survive her." Liam didn't care. He held her hand gently, and even though it trembled, she didn't pull away. Behind them, the auctioneer watched with a strange smile. "Let him take her," he muttered. "She's his problem now." But deep in Sahari's skin, just under her neck, a faint mark glowed for the first time in years, and something ancient, something hidden, had just awakened. The door slammed shut behind them. Liam locked it and turned toward the girl who now stood in the middle of his ship, silent, still, and barefooted. She didn't look around. She didn't sit. She didn't ask questions. She stood like a statue, as if waiting for orders. As if waiting to be hurt, Liam placed a meal packet on the table, trying to act normal. You hungry? No answer. He walked closer and gently pushed the food toward her. It's warm, real food, not market garbage. Still no answer. Then she slowly lifted her hand like she was unsure if she had permission. Her fingers touched the edge of the wrapper. And then, like a frightened animal, she pulled it away and took a bite fast, like someone might snatch it from her. Liam watched in silence. She wasn't eating. She was surviving. This wasn't what he expected. He had saved people before, traded with aliens, even helped refugees on broken moons. But this girl, Sahari, she was different. She didn't speak. She didn't move unless told. Her body was covered in scars. And not all of them were old. He opened a storage locker and took out a blanket and soft clothes. You don't belong in chains, he said. When he handed her the blanket, she flinched. Liam paused. I'm not going to hurt you. Her silver eyes rose, unsure. I didn't buy a slave, Liam said firmly. I bought your freedom. She looked confused, like she didn't understand the word. Free, he repeated. No more chains, no more orders. Sahari opened her mouth but said nothing. Later, in the corner of the ship, she curled up on the floor. The blanket was wrapped around her like armor. She didn't sleep. She just stared at the wall, blinking slowly. Liam sat at the controls, watching her from a distance. He wasn't sure what he was doing. He had spent his life trading across planets, fixing broken ships, dealing with tough mercs, but this girl, this soft voice that whispered, "Please take me home," was something else. That she had chosen him. Why? Why not any other buyer? And what did the mark on her back mean? That night, a cold wind slipped through the air filter vent. Sahari shivered in her sleep. Liam got up, grabbed another blanket, and gently placed it over her. The moment the blanket touched her, her hand shot out. She grabbed his wrist with shocking speed. Liam froze. Her eyes were wide open, now glowing faintly, silver with hidden light. For a second, neither of them moved, and then she whispered, barely a breath, "Don't put me back." Liam's heart sank. "I won't." Her grip loosened. Her hand dropped. She turned her face into the blanket and didn't say another word. The next morning, she was sitting near the window, staring into the stars. Her hands were wrapped around a cup of warm water. Liam watched her from behind. He didn't speak. He just stood quietly, letting her be. Then, without turning, she spoke. "Why?" Liam stepped closer. "Why what? Why by me?" He answered after a pause. "Because you asked me to." She turned her head, surprised. "I saw your lips move," he said. "You said, 'Please take me home.'" Sahari looked down. "I didn't think you would hear it." "I did," Liam said. "And I'm not sorry." Silence stretched between them. Then she said, "This is not home?" Liam nodded. "Then we'll find it, together." She stared at him like she was seeing something strange, something impossible. "You are not like the others." "I hope not." That afternoon, Liam gave her soft shoes and showed her how the ship worked. She didn't speak much, but she followed every movement. She was smart, too smart. When she touched the screen, it glowed brighter. When she walked past the engine room, the power levels changed slightly. Liam didn't say anything, but he made a note. Something about her wasn't normal. Later that day, as she slept in the small crew bed, Liam pulled up the scans from her DNA. Test taken secretly when he cleaned her wounds. His eyes widened. Half of her genes were unknown. The rest were a mix of engineered species and something old, something buried deep in lost galactic records. She was part organic, part something else. And then a warning blinked on the screen. Tracker detected. Signal active. Liam's heart stopped. Someone was looking for her. And they were getting closer. He looked toward the sleeping girl, glowing softly under the lights. She wasn't just a girl in chains anymore. She was a secret, a weapon, and now she was his responsibility. She didn't know what a shower was when Liam gently pointed toward the washroom and handed her clean clothes. She only stared, holding the fabric like it was a strange alien tool. So Liam walked over, opened the door, and pressed the button. Hot water sprayed from the ceiling. SAHAR. I gasped and took a step back. She looked at the falling water like it was alive. For someone raised in chains, even a shower felt like magic. "You're safe now," Liam said softly. "It's just water." She slowly stepped forward, still holding the clothes to her chest. Her fingers brushed under the warm drops. She blinked fast, as if trying to understand what she was feeling, then her lips parted very slightly, and she whispered, "It's warm." Liam smiled. "Yes, it is." He turned around and gave her privacy. The sound of water ran for several minutes. When she came out, wrapped in a soft towel, her hair was wet and shining like silver silk. For the first time, her face looked clean. Her eyes no longer held fear but something else. Something quieter. Liam gave her a soft place to sit. She touched the couch like it was something holy. He watched her carefully. "Have you ever had a home?" She shook her head. "Family?" She shook it again. "What about your people? Do you remember where you come from?" Sahari closed her eyes. Then she said, "They took me as a child. I was grown. Inside a cold tank. I remember lights, pain, and hands that never stopped hurting me." Liam's jaw tightened. "Who are they?" "I don't know. I never saw faces, only masks. I was trained to dance, to obey, to smile when I bled. They called me a product." Liam felt like throwing something. No one should live like that, not anymore," he said. "You're not a product, not a thing, you're a person." She looked up, confused. "Person?" "Yes, someone who matters, someone who deserves peace." She blinked. Then, like a lost child, she asked, "What is peace?" Liam took her hand. She flinched, but didn't pull away. "This," he said. "Peace is this moment, no fear. Number. Orders. Just breathing." Her fingers trembled. Her lips moved as if she wanted to cry, but didn't know how. That night, she ate slowly. For once, not like a starving beast. She asked questions in soft, broken English. What was salt? What was sugar? Why did food have flavor? Liam answered everything, no matter how simple. Then he showed her something she had never seen: stars from orbit. He opened the side panel of the ship, revealing a clear view of the galaxy outside. Stars like diamonds stretched in every direction. Nebulas glowed in colors she didn't have names for. A purple planet rotated peacefully in the distance. Sahari stepped close, almost pressing her face against the glass. "They shine," she whispered. "They always have," Liam said. She turned to him. "Even when I was in chains, were they still shining?" "Yes," he said gently. "Even when you couldn't see them?" Sahari stood silent for a long time. Then she looked down at her arms. Her wrists still held deep marked scars from the chains. She touched them slowly. "They said these marks would remind me I belong." "To them, they were wrong," Liam said. "They'll remind you that you escaped." Sahari looked into his eyes. "Do you believe I can be free?" "I do. Even if they come back for me?" "They'll have to go through me first." Sahari didn't smile, but something in her face softened. Then she said something Liam didn't expect. "When I touch your ship's walls, it listens to me." Liam blinked. "What do you mean?" She walked to the wall and placed her hand flat on the metal. The lights above flickered, then glowed brighter. The engine thrummed softly, responding. Liam stared, stunned. "How did you do that?" "I don't know," she said. "But when I'm calm, the ship feels it too." Liam rushed to the console. He checked the system logs. Her touch had triggered a hidden protocol. "Some sort of bio interface? That wasn't normal? You're connected to the tech?" She nodded. "I was made that way. I think they designed me to control machines." Liam stared at her, his heart pounding. What was she? A dancer? A slave? Or a living weapon? Sahari sat down again and looked at her own hands. "I don't want to hurt anyone," she whispered. "You won't," Liam said. "Not if I can help it." She looked up, her silver eyes glowing faintly in the dark. For the first time, she smiled, just a little, but it was real. And for Liam, that smile was worth more than any treasure in the galaxy. The ship lights flickered red. Liam sat up fast in the pilot chair, his heart pounding. An alarm was blinking on the screen. Unauthorized signal detected. He checked the coordinates. Something was following them. Something fast, not possible, he muttered. We're in deep space, no traffic here. But the signal wasn't random. It was locked on them. Behind him, Sahari appeared, silent as ever, wearing one of his shirts like a soft robe. Her silver hair hung wet across her shoulders. Her glowing eyes scanned the screen, and without a word she said, "They found." "Me," Liam turned. "Who?" Her voice was flat. "The ones who chained me. They always find what they own." Liam stepped closer. "They don't own you anymore." She didn't argue. She just walked to the screen and placed her hand on it. "They use blood tags." Mine was placed under the skin, hidden. I thought it was dead. "But it's active now," she nodded. "They're coming." Outside, in the black silence of space, a dark ship slipped through the stars like a shadow. It had no lights, no signal, but it moved with purpose. Like a hunter, inside that ship, three masked beings watched Liam's small vessel on a screen. She activated the interface. One growled. "Then she's ready," said another. "We retrieve her now. And the human, dead or silent?" "It doesn't matter." Liam was already preparing for the worst. He powered up shields, locked down the doors, and moved the ship into a slower nebula cloud to hide. Sahari sat quietly, her hands in her lap. She didn't look scared, but empty. Like she had seen this? "Happened too many times before. They always take me back," she said softly. "Not this time," Liam answered. "They'll hurt you." "I don't care." She looked at him. "You should." He leaned in. "Sahari, if I have to die so you can live free, then that's a price I'm willing to pay." For a moment, silence filled the ship. Then she whispered, "No one ever said that to me before." The enemy ship reached them faster than expected. A sharp knock echoed through Liam's hull, not with sound but with force. The kind of silent pressure only advanced tech could make. Something was trying to break the door without firing a weapon. Liam rushed to the control panel. "They're using field pressure. They want to cut and clean." Sahari stood. And for the first time, she looked angry. She walked past him to the center of the ship, where the core reactor pulsed. She placed both hands on the wall, and the ship responded. The lights dimmed, the air grew colder, and Sahari's hair floated slightly as if some unseen wind had risen around her. Then her eyes turned fully silver. Liam stepped back. "What are you doing?" "They think I'm weak," she said. "They think I only know chains. Let me show them what else I know." Outside, the enemy ship sent 3 shadow figures to board. They broke the external lock, entered the first hallway, then the hallway lights exploded. The air hissed, and every system on their side went dead. Sahari didn't move from her place. Her voice echoed in Liam's ears, but not from her mouth. "I can feel them inside my ship." Liam blinked. "Inside your ship?" She turned toward him. "I am the ship now." The invaders never made it far. As they crossed the next door, the walls themselves came alive, metal melted, floors shifted, and every light turned into a blinding beam of energy. Screams rang through the coms. Not words, just pure fear. Liam watched, shocked. "Sahari, you're hurting them." "They came to hurt me," she said. "This is defense, not revenge." When it was over, the enemy ship fled, broken, burning, and leaving behind a trail of damaged debris. Sahari collapsed onto the floor. Liam rushed to her. "Are you all right?" Her skin was cold, her breathing slow. "I used too much energy," she whispered. "I didn't know it would take so much." He carried her to the bed and covered her in blankets. "You protected both of us," he said. "You're incredible." She looked at him with tired eyes. "I'm afraid of myself." "Don't be," he said softly. "You're not a weapon, you're a miracle." She blinked slowly, then, with her last bit of strength, she whispered, "Then why do I feel like something inside me is still waking up?" Liam held her hand. Whatever she was, whoever had made her, this was just the beginning. She woke up screaming. It wasn't a loud scream. It was silent but powerful. The walls of the ship shook. The lights blinked out. Liam rushed into the room, heart pounding. Sahari was curled on the bed, her body glowing faintly. Her back arched, hands gripping the sheets. Her skin pulsed with silver light. "Sahari!" he shouted, kneeling beside her. Her eyes flew open. But they weren't normal. They were burning pure silver, like molten metal. She grabbed his arm. Don't touch me. The moment her fingers closed around his wrist, the ship responded. The floor vibrated, and a wave of energy rushed from the engine room. Liam was thrown back, landing hard against the wall. The ship's AI spoke for the first time since Liam bought it. Unauthorized user detected. Energy surge critical. Biological interface compromised. Liam staggered to his feet. Stop! She's not a threat. The lights flickered again, and Sahari suddenly gasped and collapsed. The glow around her faded, and she fell into Liam's arms, shaking. I saw something, she whispered. What did you see? He asked gently. Her voice cracked. City, floating in fire, and voices screaming my name. Hours later, Sahari sat on the edge of the bunk, wrapped in a blanket. Liam scanned her vitals, trying to make sense of what just happened. I think your body is activating something, he said. She didn't answer. Her eyes were distant. I wasn't supposed to survive this long, she said finally. They made me to perform, to obey. They didn't expect me to live this far or feel this much. Liam knelt in front of her. What's waking up inside you? I don't know, she whispered. But it's loud. That evening, Liam tried something different. He took her to the cargo bay, where he kept old Earth items, things from his travels. Small music players, a chessboard, books with worn covers. A tiny globe, he placed one in her hands, a snow globe with a tiny forest inside. Sahari shook it. Tiny flakes floated through the glass. This is beautiful, she said softly. Earth has many beautiful things, Liam replied. You'd like it there. Sahari stared at the globe for a long time. I want to believe in a place like that. You will, he said. I'll take you. But the moment she smiled, alarms blared again. This time it wasn't a tracking signal. It was a boarding breach. Liam ran to the cockpit. Not again. A single ship was approaching, small, fast, heavily armed. They weren't bounty hunters. They were something worse. The ship crashed into Liam's vessel like a hammer. The hull shook. Air hissed from the side vents. Liam barely had time to grab his weapon. A tall alien in black armor stepped inside. Red glowing eyes scanned the hallway. Return the girl, he said through a voice filter, or this ship will burn. Liam raised his gun. You're not taking her. You don't know what she is? I know she's not yours. Behind him, Sahari stepped into view barefoot, her hair blowing from the broken air vent. The alien pointed. You. Come now. She didn't move. I said now. Suddenly, Sahari raised her hand. And the air around her bent. Liam felt it. The floor shook. The walls groaned. Then the intruder's armor cracked, not from a blast. Not from a bullet, from inside. The man dropped his weapon and screamed. The metal wrapped around. His body twisted like paper. Then with a loud thud he collapsed. Unconscious. Liam stared at Sahari. Her eyes glowed again. Her voice was different. I didn't mean to do that. Liam stepped forward carefully. Are you okay? She looked at her hands. It was like I could feel his blood moving. I didn't try. I just reacted. He gently touched her shoulder. You're not a monster. She looked up at him. Then why do I feel like one? Later, Liam locked the enemy ship down. The attacker was still breathing but wouldn't wake up for hours. He ran a scan on Sahari's blood again. The results came back in flashing red. Warning: subject contains enhanced neural threads. System interference possible. Threat level unknown. Liam sat beside her. Your body's changing, he said. You're not just connected to tech. You are the tech now. She looked tired. They called me a ghost weapon. A living key. But they never told me what I unlock. Liam leaned forward. Then we'll find out together. She looked at him. Why do you stay? Because you asked me to take you home, he said. And I'm not letting go until we find where that is. Sahari closed her eyes. For once, her heartbeat was calm, but deep inside her veins, something else was still waking up, and this time it wouldn't go back to sleep. The signal didn't come from outside the ship. It came from inside Sahari's blood. Liam stared at the screen in shock. A glowing pulse moved through the digital map of her body, spreading from her spine to her heart. It wasn't just energy. It was a message. It was activating by itself. He leaned forward, running deeper scans. Words flashed in alien script. He didn't understand them, but the ship's AI translated just one phrase. Daughter of the Lost Throne. Beacon awakened. His chest tightened. Sahari, you're not just a creation. You were someone before all this? Behind him. She stood frozen, her eyes wide. She had heard it 2 hours earlier. They had taken shelter on an abandoned space station. It floated silently in orbit over a dead planet left behind after an old war. Liam needed time to think. Sahari needed to rest. But rest never came. Instead, the station reacted the moment Sahari stepped onto the deck. Lights came on by themselves. Doors opened before she touched them, and far below in the control core, a locked vault door split in two on its own just because Sahari passed near it. That was when Liam scanned her again. That's when he found the truth. Sahari sat on the edge of a metal bed, hugging her knees. Her glowing eyes were filled with something Liam hadn't seen before: fear. I was made in a lab, she whispered. They told me I was grown, engineered, just a product. They lied, Liam said. You were taken. Someone is still looking for you. Who would want me? Liam turned the screen. A queen, Sahari flinched. What? He pointed. I found this in your blood, a signal hidden deep, like a time-locked message. It was only supposed to activate if your powers awakened. It was waiting for you to survive. Her lips trembled. But I wasn't supposed to. That's why they used chains instead of killing you. They were hiding you from someone. He showed her the full message. If my daughter lives, the fire has not ended. I am alive, and I will find her. In a distant corner of the galaxy, on a broken moon surrounded by fire, a woman wearing armor of light opened her eyes. Her silver crown glowed faintly. She placed her hand on her chest. She's awake. Behind her, alien warriors knelt. Shall we prepare the fleet? The queen stood tall. No, first I must see her with my own eyes. Back on the station, Liam and Sahari stood in the vault where the signal had led them. Inside was a glowing orb floating in the air. The moment Sahari stepped forward, it spun slowly and opened like a flower. A hologram appeared, a woman with the same silver eyes, the same glow, but older, stronger, wiser. My child, the figure said, if you're seeing this, then you lived. Sahari covered her mouth, shaking. The hologram continued, they took you as a baby. I hid this station and locked your identity in your blood. The galaxy thinks our bloodline is extinct, but you are proof that we are not. Tears rolled down Sahari's cheeks. Liam reached for her hand. She held it tight. Come home. The message ended, and we will rise again. The hologram faded. Silence filled the vault. Then Sahari whispered, I have a family. You do, Liam said, and they've been waiting. Later, Sahari stood alone near the window of the ship, staring at the stars. I thought I was made for pain, she said. But I was born for something else. Liam walked to her side. You were born to be free. Sahari shook her head. No, I was born to rule. But do you want that? She was quiet for a moment. I want to find her, my mother. I want to remember who I was before the chains. Liam smiled. Then that's what we'll do. She looked at him. And after that? He paused. That's your choice. She stepped closer, her voice gentle. Will you still stay with me? I didn't come this far to leave now. She touched his chest. Her fingers glowed faintly against his shirt. Then I don't want to be a queen, she said softly. I just want to be yours. Liam's heart skipped. And somewhere far away, ships began to move. The throne of a forgotten empire was waiting for its lost daughter. But Sahari's heart was no longer lost. It was right. Here on a ship with the only person who ever looked at her like she was human. The stars outside the window were different now, not because they had moved, but because she used to look at them with fear, wondering if someone was watching her, tracking her, waiting to drag her back into chains. But now she looked at the stars with calm eyes, eyes that remembered. Eyes that dreamed, because her mother was alive, because her blood had a name, and because the man beside her never once let go. The royal fleet arrived with no sound, no warning, just presence. 50. Glowing ships lined up across the sky, forming a silver wall in the dark. Each one pulsed with energy. Each one carried the symbol Sahari had seen in her dreams, a sun with two wings, the symbol of her house, her people, her forgotten empire. Liam stood beside her on the viewing deck. That's a lot of ships for a reunion. Sahari didn't laugh. She looked nervous, quiet. She's really here, she whispered. The Queen, my mother, Liam nodded. Are you ready? I don't know. He looked into her eyes. I'll be right beside you. They landed on the lead ship, a vessel of light and glass floating in silence. A red carpet extended toward a tall woman waiting alone in front of her guards. Her silver hair braided, her armor glowing at the edges. Sahari stepped forward slowly. The Queen didn't smile. She didn't rush. She simply opened her arms. Sahari froze. Then ran into them. No words were said. Not yet. Only the sound of breathing. Of tears of a mother holding the child she thought was lost forever. Later, inside the royal chamber, the Queen studied Liam quietly. You protected her. Liam nodded. You refused to sell her. You chose to fight for her. Why? He didn't blink. Because she asked me to take her home? And is your ship her home now? He looked at Sahari. Only if she wants it to be. The Queen turned to her daughter. You are the last blood of our house. You were born to rule beside me. The people wait for your name. Will you return? Sahari stood still, then, slowly, she walked over to Liam and took his hand. I found something I never knew I was missing. She said, not power, not a throne. She looked at Liam. I found him. The guard shifted. Whispers filled the room, but the Queen only nodded once. Then he is under our protection. A ceremony was prepared the next day. The galaxy would see the lost. Princess returned, but just before the crown could touch Sahari's head, she raised her hand. Wait. The Queen looked confused. What is it? I want to choose, Sahari said. She stepped down from the platform and turned to the crowd. I am no longer the girl in chains. I am not just a weapon. And I am not a tool for thrones. She took Liam's hand again. This man gave me something you could not. Choice. She turned to the Queen. I'll stay, I'll serve. I'll protect our bloodline. But then her voice softened. Only if he stays beside me. That night, under a sky of twin moons, Liam stood on the palace balcony with Sahari at his side. You didn't have to choose me, he said. I didn't choose you, she replied with a smile. My heart did. He looked at her glowing silver eyes and touched her face gently. You don't shine because of your powers, he said. You shine because you're free. She leaned into him, whispering, I'll never be in chains again. He kissed her forehead. You never were. He said, you just needed someone to remind you. And so, the girl who once stood in the market, beaten and silenced, now stood before worlds as a queen with her head high. But more than that, she was human in the only way that mattered, because someone had loved her without needing her to be anything but herself. The galaxy would remember her name, but Liam? He would remember the first whisper she ever gave him. Please, take me home. And he did.